What's going on, everybody? Sports Player 2.0 Daniel here. And guys, we went 5-1-1 in the NHL, 3-4 in the NBA, and 9-4 in the MLB. So we had a great day in the NHL, 5-1-1, which is really good, 4 games over 500. NBA, we went 3-4, not so good, 1 game under 500. And the MLB, we went 9-4, which is really good, 5 games over 500. So we did really good in the NHL. We got to do better in the NBA, and we got to do the same thing in the MLB. So let's move on to tomorrow's games. The Penguins are going to New York to face the Rangers. The Penguins come in at 24-12-2, and the Rangers come in at 17-15-5. The Penguins, the last game for the Pittsburgh Penguins, they lost 7-5 versus the Boston Bruins. And for the New York Rangers, they lost 3-2 in a shootout versus the Buffalo Sabres. And the likely starters for this game is Tristan Jarry for the Pittsburgh Penguins and Igor Shesterkin for the New York Rangers. And the New York Rangers are favored in this one. Give me the Rangers to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Buffalo Sabres going to New Jersey to face the Devils. The Sabres come in at 8-23-6, and the Devils come in at 13-17-6. The last game for the Buffalo Sabres, they won 3-2 in a shootout versus the New York Rangers. And for the New Jersey Devils, they lost 5-4 versus the Washington Capitals. And the likely starters for this game is Linus Ullmark for the Buffalo Sabres and Mackenzie Blackwood for the New Jersey Devils. And the New Jersey Devils are favored in this one. Give me the Devils to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Washington Capitals going to New York to face the Islanders. The Capitals come in at 25-9-4, and the Islanders come in at 24-10-4. The last game for the Washington Capitals, they won 5-4 versus the New Jersey Devils. And for the New York Islanders, they won 3-2 in a shootout versus the Philadelphia Flyers. And the likely starters for this game is Ilya Samsonov for the Washington Capitals and Semyon Varlamov for the New York Islanders. And the New York Islanders are favored in this one. Give me the Islanders to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Boston Bruins going to Philadelphia to face the Flyers. The Bruins come in at 19-10-6, and the Flyers come in at 18-14-5. The last game these two teams played today, and the Philadelphia Flyers won 3-2 in overtime. The likely starters for this game is Yaroslav Halak for the Boston Bruins and Carter Hart for the Philadelphia Flyers. And the Boston Bruins are favored in this one. Give me the Bruins to win this game on the road in Philadelphia. Next up, we have the Florida Panthers going to Carolina to face the Hurricanes. The Panthers come in at 26-9-4, and the Hurricanes come in at 25-9-3. The last game for the Florida Panthers, they won 3-0 versus the Columbus Blue Jackets, and for the Carolina Hurricanes, they won 1-0 versus the Dallas Stars. And the likely starters for this game is Sergei Bobrovsky for the Florida Panthers and Peter Mrazek for the Carolina Hurricanes. And the Carolina Hurricanes are favored in this one, but give me upset. Give me the Panthers to win this game on the road in Carolina. Next up, we have the Tampa Bay Lightning going to Columbus to face the Blue Jackets. The Lightning come in at 26-10-2, and the Blue Jackets come in at 14-18-8. The last game for the Tampa Bay Lightning, they lost 5-1 versus the Detroit Red Wings, and for the Columbus Blue Jackets, they lost 3-0 versus the Florida Panthers. And the likely starters for this game is Andrei Vasilevsky for the Tampa Bay Lightning and Jonas Korpisalo for the Columbus Blue Jackets. And the Tampa Bay Lightning are a favorite in this one. Give me the Lightning to win this game on the road in Columbus. Next up, we have the Nashville Predators going to Detroit to face the Red Wings. The Predators come in at 20-18-1, and the Red Wings come in at 13-22-5. The last game for the Nashville Predators, they won 3-0 versus the Chicago Blackhawks, and for the Detroit Red Wings, they won 5-1 versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. And the likely starters for this game is UC Saros for the Nashville Predators and Thomas Greiss for the Detroit Red Wings. And the Nashville Predators are favored in this one. Give me the Predators to win this game on the road in Detroit. Next up, we have the Dallas Stars going to Chicago to face the Blackhawks. The Stars come in at 13-13-10, and the Blackhawks come in at 17-17-5. The last game for the Dallas Stars, they lost 1-0 versus the Carolina Hurricanes, and for the Chicago Blackhawks, they lost 3-0 versus the Nashville Predators. And the likely starters for this game is Anton Khudobin for the Dallas Stars and Kevin Lankinen for the Chicago Blackhawks. And the Dallas Stars are favored in this one, but give me upset. Give me the Blackhawks to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Anaheim Ducks going to San Jose to face the Sharks. The Ducks come in at 11-21-7, and the Sharks come in at 17-16-4. The last game for the Anaheim Ducks, they lost 3-2 in overtime versus the Arizona Coyotes, and for the San Jose Sharks, they won 3-2 versus the LA Kings. And the likely starters for this game is John Gibson for the Anaheim Ducks and Martin Jones for the San Jose Sharks. And the San Jose Sharks are a favorite in this one. Give me the Sharks to win this game at home. And that does it for the NHL. Let's move on to the NBA. The Bulls come in at the Bulls are going to Indiana to face the Pacers. The Bulls come in at 20-28, and the Pacers come in at 22-26. I'm going to go with the home team here. Give me the Pacers to win this game at home. Next up, we have the New Orleans Pelicans going to Atlanta to face the Hawks. The Pelicans come in at 22-27, and the Hawks come in at 26-24. I'm going to go with the Pelicans here. Give me the Pelicans to win this game on the road in Atlanta. Next up, we have the Philadelphia 76ers going to Boston to face the Celtics. The 76ers come in at 34-16, and the Celtics come in at 25-25, and the Philadelphia 76ers are a 1-point favorite in this one. Give me the 76ers to win this game on the road in Boston. Next up, we have the Los Angeles Lakers going to Tampa Bay to face the Raptors. The Lakers come in at 31-19, and the Raptors come in at 20-30. I'm going to go with the home team here. Give me the Raptors to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Memphis Grizzlies going to Miami to face the Heat. The Grizzlies come in at 24-23, and the Heat come in at 26-24, and the Miami Heat are a 5-point favorite in this one. Give me the Heat to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Detroit Pistons going to Denver to face the Nuggets. The Pistons come in at 15-35, and the Nuggets come in at 31-18. I'm going to go with the home team here. Give me the Nuggets to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Milwaukee Bucks going to Golden State Warriors. The Bucks come in at 32-17, and the Warriors come in at 23-27. I'm going to go with the Bucks here. Give me the Bucks to win this game on the road in Golden State. Next up, we have the Portland Trailblazers going to Los Angeles to face the Clippers. The Trailblazers come in at 30-19, and the Clippers come in at 33-18, and the LA Clippers are a 5.5-point favorite in this one. Give me the Clippers in a money line, but give me the Trailblazers plus 5.5. And that does it for the NBA. Let's move on to the MLB. The Mets are going to Philadelphia to face the Phillies. The Mets come in at 0-1, and the Phillies come in at 4-0. Game 1 was won by the Philadelphia Phillies by a final score of 5-3. The New York Mets almost had it, but the Philadelphia Phillies came back and won, scored 5 runs in the bottom of the 8th to win 5-3. The pitching matchup for this game is Marcus Stroman for the New York Mets and Chase Anderson for the Philadelphia Phillies. And the New York Mets are a favorite in this one. Give me the Mets to win this game on the road in Philadelphia, and give me the over 9 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Minnesota Twins going to Detroit to face the Tigers. The Twins come in at 3-1, and the Tigers come in at 2-2. Game 1 was won by the Minnesota Twins by a final score of 15-6. This game was a blowout from the beginning, and it looked like the Minnesota Twins will win this one by more than a blowout. I thought it would be a final score of 15-1, but then the Tigers came back and scored 5 runs in the bottom of the 9th. To end the game 15-6, the Minnesota Twins took game 1 of that series, and the pitching matchup for this game is J.A. Happ for the Minnesota Twins and Casey Mize for the Detroit Tigers. And the Minnesota Twins are a favorite in this one. Give me the Twins to win this game on the road in Detroit, and give me the over 9 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Atlanta Braves going to Washington to face the Nationals. The Braves lost all 3 games to the Philadelphia Phillies. They got swept by the Philadelphia Phillies, and the Washington Nationals are just starting off their season. They got postponed because of COVID-19. They got hit pretty bad with the virus, but they're starting tomorrow, hopefully. They are starting, and the pitching matchup for this game is Drew Smyly for the Atlanta Braves and Max Scherzer for the Washington Nationals. And the Washington Nationals are a favorite in this one, but give me upset. Give me the Braves to win this game on the road in Washington, and give me the under 8 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Houston Astros going to Los Angeles to face the Angels. The Astros come in at 4-1, and the Angels come in at 4-1. Game 1 was won by the Los Angeles Angels by a final score of 7-6. The pitching matchup for this game is Zach Greinke for the Houston Astros and Griffin Canning for the Los Angeles Angels. And the Houston Astros are favored in this one. Give me the Astros to win this game on the road in Los Angeles, and give me the under 9 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Baltimore Orioles going to New York to face the Yankees. The Orioles come in at 3-1. And the Yankees come in at 2-2. The Yankees handed the Baltimore Orioles their first loss of the season, bringing their record to 3-1. They swept the Boston Red Sox, but they couldn't beat the Yankees last night. They lost by a final score of 7-0. The pitching matchup for this game is Dan Kramer for the Baltimore Orioles and Garrett Cole for the New York Yankees. And the over-under for this game is 8.5. I'm going to take the New York Yankees to win this game at home, and give me the under 8.5 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Pittsburgh Pirates going to Cincinnati to face the Reds. The Pirates come in at 1-3, and the Reds come in at 3-1. The first game of this series was won by the Cincinnati Reds by a final score of 5-3. The pitching matchup for this game is Trevor Cahill for the Pittsburgh Pirates and Wade Miley for the Cincinnati Reds. And the Cincinnati Reds are a favorite in this one. Give me the Reds to win this game at home, and give me the over 9 runs in that game. Next up, we have the St. Louis Cardinals going to Miami to face the Marlins. The Cardinals come in at 2-2, and the Marlins come in at 1-3. Game 1 was won by the St. Louis Cardinals by a final score of 4-1. The pitching matchup for this game is John Gant for the St. Louis Cardinals and Sandy Alcantara for the Miami Marlins. And the Miami Marlins are a favorite in this one, but give me upset. Give me the Cardinals to win this game on the road in Miami, and give me the under 7.5 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Tampa Bay Rays going to Boston to face the Red Sox. The Rays come in at 2-2, and the Red Sox come in at 1-3. The Red Sox got their first win of the season last night against the Tampa Bay Rays. They beat them by a final score of 11-2. It was a blowout. The Boston Red Sox really took out their anger on the Rays because they did not want to start the season off 0-3. So they took it out on the Rays and beat the crap out of them 11-2. And the pitching matchup for this game is Tyler Glasnow for the Tampa Bay Rays and Martin Perez for the Boston Red Sox. And the Tampa Bay Rays are a favorite in this one. Give me the Rays to win this game on the road in Boston, and give me the under 9 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Brewers going to Chicago to face the Cubs. The Brewers come in at 1-3. And the Cubs come in at 3-1. The first game of this series was won by the Chicago Cubs by a final score of 5-3. The pitching matchup for this game is Freddie Peralta for the Milwaukee Brewers and Albert Azole for the Chicago Cubs. And this one's a pick'em, and I'm going to go with the Milwaukee Brewers, and there's no over-under for this game, so give me the Brewers to win this game on the road in Chicago. Next up, we have the Toronto Blue Jays going to Texas to face the Rangers. The first game of this series was won by the Toronto Blue Jays by a final score of 6-2. Steven Matz cruised in this game and led the Toronto Blue Jays to a win 6-2. He was lights out today. He only gave up 1 run, I believe, and the pitching matchup for this game is Tanner Roark for the Toronto Blue Jays, and Dane Dunning for the Texas Rangers. And the Toronto Blue Jays are a favorite in this one. Give me upset. Give me the Rangers to win this game at home, and give me the over 9.5 runs in that game. The Diamondbacks are going to Colorado to face the Rockies. The Diamondbacks come in at 1-3, and the Rockies come in at 1-3. The Arizona Diamondbacks lost their series 3-1 versus the Padres. They won one out of the three against the Padres. Same with the Colorado Rockies. They won one out of the three against the LA Dodgers. And the pitching matchup for this game is Luke Weaver for the Arizona Diamondbacks and German Marquez for the Colorado Rockies. And the Colorado Rockies are a favorite in this one. Give me the Rockies to win this game at home, and give me the over 10.5 runs in that game. Next up, we have the LA Dodgers going to Oakland to face the Athletics. The Dodgers come in at 4-1, and the Athletics, not looking good, 0-5 to start off their season. The first game of this series was won by the LA Dodgers. They won it by a final score of 10-3. The pitching matchup for this game is Clayton Kershaw for the LA Dodgers and Chris Bassett for the Oakland Athletics. And the LA Dodgers are a favorite in this one. Give me the Dodgers to win this game on the road in Oakland, and give me the over 8.5 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Chicago White Sox going to Seattle to face the Mariners. The White Sox come in at 2-3. And the Mariners come in at 2-2. The first game of this series was won by the Chicago White Sox by a final score of 6-0. The Chicago White Sox shut out the Mariners, didn't give them a single run. The pitching matchup for this game is Lucas Giolito for the Chicago White Sox and James Paxton for the Seattle Mariners. And the Chicago White Sox are a favorite in this one. Give me the White Sox to win this game on the road in Seattle, and give me the under 7.5 runs in that game. And the final match for the day, we have the San Francisco Giants going to San Diego to face the Padres. The Giants come in at 2-2, and the Padres come in at 3-2. The first game of this series was won by the San Francisco Giants by a final score of 3-2. The pitching matchup for this game is Aaron Sanchez for the San Francisco Giants and Yu Darvish for the San Diego Padres. The Padres did lose Fernando Tatis Jr. to injury, which is not what they wanted, because that is their best player on the team. And the San Diego Padres are a favorite in this one, but give me upset. Give me the Giants to win this game on the road in San Diego, and give me the under 8 runs in that game. And that does it for today's picks for tomorrow's game. So hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please hit me the like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.